Okay, welcome back to Cryptobyte, everyone. We've got the latest and hottest news for you guys today. It's mainly about Bitcoin, as we got the Bitcoin hype going on. A lot of mainstream. Let's start off with CoinGecko.com. We've got Bitcoin doing 5.3% up in the last 24 hours. We've got Ethereum 5% up, XRP 1.5% up. We've got Bitcoin Cash 3% up, Chainlink 5.4%, Binance Coin 3%. Quite a green market today, very positive. We are in the bull run, I believe. We are starting the bull run very slowly, but eventually we are going to explode. Let's look at the best performing the last 24 hours. We've got Amplify 16.5, but we look at the market cap. As far as I'm aware, it didn't go up that much, but it is above $1 again. So we will see a rebase going down to $1, and whoever owns Amplify will get the same ratio in Amplify in their wallet. We've got Aragon 13.1%, Energy Web Token 10%, Compound 10%, Uniswap, not much, but quite nice positive gains. Not much, but quite nice and positive gains. Let's look at the worst performing assets. Not much, guys. We have quite a green market today. We've got Arweave at minus 7.8%. We've got Digibyte at minus 4.6%, Numera minus 3.6%. And a few negatives such as Filecoin, Empty Set Dollar, Decentraland, Huobi Token, and whatsoever. But the main news here is about Bitcoin. It's all about Bitcoin. And this takes me to the first article, which is a 1 trillion conservative market cap for Bitcoin. When is that going to happen? It's all about when, not if, okay? So it will happen, but when I read this article, I got aware that it will happen more sooner than later, and I will show you why exactly in this article. So first of all, we've got a growing number of companies that are looking at Bitcoin as part of the treasury fund equation. And we know that MicroStrategy already earlier, I think around 1-2 months ago, has bought $425 million worth of Bitcoin. And we've got Square recently joining it with $50 million worth of Bitcoin respectively. And those are only the two of the Fortune 1000 companies, the top 1000 companies that are out there. And there's 998 left to go. Imagine each one, just each one using 1% of the treasury fund into Bitcoin. Huge numbers. And looking at that, we've got MicroStrategy, Square, now we've got other ones slowly piling up. Nobody wanted to be first, but nobody wants to be last. Eventually, there's going to be just a flock of companies coming in. We've got such Galaxy Digital Holdings, big company also. We've got GREYSCALE as known. Keep buying and buying around 70% of the Bitcoin mined. Sooner or later, there will be a liquidity shock, okay? And what that means is that there will be no liquidity enough for the Bitcoins that want to be purchased, and the price is just going to rise and rise and rise and rise until someone is willing to sell a certain amount of Bitcoin. And I mean, the price is going to explode. So going back to the article, there is 4 trillion of treasury reserves at public corporations today. And this is just public corporations, not private ones. This is not the central banks. It's just the public corporations. They're holding $4 trillion in just treasury reserves. Incredible. And if just 1% of that moves into Bitcoin, that's $40 billion. So I was thinking, $40 billion and $250 billion, which is the market cap of Bitcoin right now, makes that around $300 billion. How does that take it to a trillion? Well, let's explain here. We've got the multiplier effect for every dollar that goes into Bitcoin. And Bitcoin goes up somewhere between $20 to $200 in market cap for each dollar. Okay? So put that in your head. For each dollar, you got $20 to $100 in market cap increasing, okay? And if you're wondering why, I will tell you now, okay? First of all, though, if there is 1 million in Bitcoin bought, the market cap of Bitcoin goes around 20 million and 100 million up, okay? And this multiplier effect relates to the availability of funds on order books across crypto exchanges. Reason you get this effect is, as in all markets, okay, this is in all markets, it is the marginal liquidity at the edges that sets the price and value for the entire asset base. As I said earlier, there will be a liquidity shock. And when that's the case, there ain't going to be enough liquidity for the people that want to buy, especially big companies, maybe even central banks, hopefully. And imagine what's going to happen to the price. It's going to go more than 20x. It might go 100x. We don't know yet, okay? But if we got 40 billion and we multiply it by 20, which is the lowest that we are estimating here as a multiplier, we go 800 billion. And this takes the market cap to $1 trillion from its current one, which is 250. It's not 220 actually. We've risen right now. As you know, the Bitcoin price is around 13,800 almost. So it would take it to 1 trillion. Amazing. And if 1% of treasury reserves from public companies go into Bitcoin, Bitcoin is $1 trillion market cap on the conservative side. And it could be a $5 trillion market cap if we use the 100 times multiplier, okay? And that doesn't count central banks, doesn't count any other institutions that may be coming in later on, such as private institutions. It doesn't, like we have PayPal right now, okay? We've got 300 plus million users. Imagine each of them wanting to buy Bitcoin also, okay? $100 here, $1,000 here, $5 here. Incredible. And the fact that everyone's thinking, oh, PayPal, you can't hold your own keys. But think about it that way. Before, nobody wants to hold their keys. Old people don't want to hold their keys. It's more like the younger generation. So the old people right now that don't understand about private keys, ledger, whatsoever, can easily just buy it and store it at PayPal. Okay. So PayPal will obviously have to own that certain amount of Bitcoin that people buy, and they will hold it for you. Incredible news. And before I introduce you the JPM coin, which is live right now, JP Morgan's coin is live, I want to talk about this article, which is more than half of US investors interested in Bitcoin. And this is by a survey found by GREYSCALE. And Bitcoin, also as cryptocurrency as a whole, it is well on the way towards mainstream adoption. We've been waiting for that for ages. Since Bitcoin has been created, more and more projects have been developing, but it is all about mainstream adoption. Compared to the previous year, the results mark a significant increase with a rise of 19%, and the strongest stated driver for Bitcoin investments was the coronavirus pandemic, which spurred 63% of respondents into investing. And this is what we found from the research. So if we actually zoom in here right now, and since COVID-19, the impacted decisions have gone up to 63%, and 37% have not been impacted by COVID-19, which means that 37% would have invested anyhow, but 63% of people have decided to actually invest in Bitcoin due to COVID-19. What does that show you? It shows you that COVID-19, at times of uncertainty, people want to invest on something that is more of an asset such as gold. It stays a bit more reliable, you know, silver, let's say, not the stocks. Stocks go down. We know that in the stock market crash, we know in 2008, the dot-com bubble, stocks go down. So usually it was gold, it was silver, precious metals, but now it's Bitcoin. That is the new standard. It's a new standard. If you're gonna have a bit of Bitcoin in your treasury, you will be looked down at from your investors, from your shareholders, and you're gonna be asked, why are you not actually funding into Bitcoin? Why are you actually not putting some of the treasuries into Bitcoin? If it's even 1%, 5%, or like MicroStrategy, like 50, 60%, we don't know what's gonna happen. Okay, but the point here is that Bitcoin investment is slowly moving into the next gold. Instead of investing in gold, let's invest in Bitcoin. We know Bitcoin is way better than gold, but everyone has his own interpretation between gold and Bitcoin. We don't want to kind of say Bitcoin is better than gold, gold is better than Bitcoin, but we have already proven that Bitcoin is safe. It's been there for over a decade, so it's just time now for mainstream adoption. So now going up to the graph here, we've got within the past 4 months, 38% of people investing into Bitcoin. 26% of Bitcoin investors have been 5 to 6 months ago. 7 to 12 months ago, we've got 19%, and 17% have been invested more than a year ago. I mean, 83% in the past year alone. That's an incredible increase. That's an incredible jump from not knowing what it is, not trusting what it is, now into trusting it, you know, knowing slowly. People are talking about it. People such as Michael Saylor, Paul Tudor Jones, huge people that have worth billions and billions, and they're talking about it, you know. It's incredible. And we've got the total number of Bitcoin investors in the US rising by 11 million, from 21 million to 32 million from the previous years. Incredible again. And the study was not without its negative insights, however, finding that of people aged 55 to 64, only 40% were familiar with Bitcoin and just 30% would consider investing. And this is what I've talked about earlier with PayPal, and this is why I wanted to take you straight to this article, because now more people will get familiar with Bitcoin because of PayPal, because of the banks. Okay, and this takes me to the next article, so make sure you wait to the end of this video because it takes me to these articles. Now slowly banks are letting you buy Bitcoin, buy Ether, and they're going to be the custodian of it, same as PayPal. So look at PayPal as a bank, and you can go and put your dollars, your pound sterlings, your euros, whatever you've got, into Bitcoin, into Ether, and they will store it for you. You don't have to worry about a custodian. You don't have to worry about a ledger. You buy and you hold, okay? Very nice for people age 55 plus whatsoever. Bitcoin right now, the ledger itself, holding your own wallet, is more for the younger generation, okay? Generation like people between, let's say, I don't know, 18 and 40. Depends on where you were living, where you were born, where you were raised, okay? And now taking you to JP Morgan's JPM coin, which is live. JP Morgan is a global head of wholesale payments, said the major tech firm will use the token to make global payments starting this week. And we've got the token, the JPM token. It was designed to speed up transactions, such as payments between firms or bond transactions. The banks are going down. The traditional banks are just becoming more and more useless. And it was built on Quorum, which is a private version of Ethereum developed by the bank. And it has been acquired by the firm Consensus this August. Now, we've got the CEO of Onyx, which is basically a team of JP Morgan. JP Morgan made a separate team of around 100 employees, and they called it Onyx, and they're going to be focused on the blockchain side of JP Morgan, blah, 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 whatsoever. And the CEO, which is Umar, said the bank is also eyeing using blockchain to send digital versions of paper checks and save banks 75%. Okay, get that in your head. It saves banks 75% of the costs currently needed to send and process these payments. I mean, wow. Great news I'm hearing for Bitcoin. Great news I'm hearing for the blockchain, Ethereum. Everything right now is just great. If this is not the start of the bull market, this news, I don't know what is right now, okay? This takes me to the next article actually, which is Indian bank to offer crypto services across its 34 branches. Why the Supreme Court of India took down the crypto banking ban put in place by the Reserve Bank of India in March, most banks are still skeptical of providing services to crypto companies and individuals dealing in digital currencies. Okay, so now the Supreme Court is just overruling the reserve banks and saying, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. Why is there crypto banking rule? Why is a ban? Okay, not the rule, sorry. Why is that ban? There should be regulations. Such as the fiat money, there should be regulations. Just like gold, there should be regulations. Just as mortgages, assets, artwork, everything has regulations. And so should crypto. It shouldn't just be banned, okay? So now it will allow account holders to integrate cryptocurrency wallets directly with their accounts. It will allow people to buy Bitcoin, Ether, Ripple, and Kasha by paying either cash or directly from their account. I mean, it couldn't be easier for people, especially the elderly generation who are worried. Like I kept saying now in this video, they can just go and change their money simply into Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies such as Ether, Ripple also, and their own cryptocurrency, which is Kasha. Now, cryptocurrencies have seen significant adoption in India since the lockdown started in March. Many Indian cryptocurrency exchanges reported a spike in their crypto trading volume to the tune of 200 to 400%. And when the bull market of Bitcoin actually starts, with the banks opening their gates, I'm gonna see flooding of money. I can see how a lot of money is gonna move into this. And as we talk about the multiplier, 20 times 100, the market cap of each dollar. Okay, so a $1 trillion, as we've discussed here, a $1 trillion market cap for Bitcoin. It's not very, it's very optimistic. It's very reasonable and it could happen very quickly. It could happen before this year end. It could happen at the beginning of year 2021. We don't know. It could happen in 1 year, but this is very realistic. For people that say, oh, it's going down, Bitcoin has not even started yet, okay? And let's take you back to this article. We've got the chief executive of Kasha saying that the increased interest in cryptocurrencies was a major reason for them to integrate cryptos into the legacy banking system. Crypto doesn't need banks. It's a nice addition, but banks need crypto. Okay, people are slowly having more interest. And what do banks do? They need to accommodate interest for people, for investors. And he said that Unicast will help disseminate reliable information about cryptocurrencies to the mainstream Indian population and help further the adoption of cryptos in India. Very, very bullish news, which takes me to another banking custodian, which is Singapore's largest bank, reportedly launching crypto trading and custody. So not only custody, but also an exchange. DBS Exchange, but mainly DBS the bank. So Singapore's largest retail and commercial bank is DBS, and it seems to be entering the cryptocurrency space with 3 new offerings. It's first got the DBS Digital Exchange right now, and I want to focus on that right now. It will support 5 major cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ether, XRP, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum Classic. And as you can see, what's the correlation? The correlation is that banks are slowly opening up the gates to people, opening custodians such as PayPal, and all of them offer Bitcoin. All of them offer Ether. Most of them offer XRP, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum Classic also, and other things, but we want to focus here on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies such as Ether, the big ones, and XRP also, let's say. Let's put XRP as well in the equation. They're going to offer that for people to buy and trade. Now, you will be able to trade using United States dollar. You will be able to trade using the Singapore dollar, the Hong Kong dollar, and the Japanese yen. What's also nice is that they have a digital asset custody. So the DBS Digital Exchange will not hold any assets itself, such as PayPal, let's say. PayPal will not hold it itself, actually. They will probably have another custodian. Maybe they will actually hold it themselves, no idea. But instead, all digital assets are kept at DBS Bank, which is globally recognized for its custodial services. It gives people trust. Okay, people that are new into this, it gives them trust, and that's what we need. We need basically a floodgate of new investors. And big investors, small investors, doesn't matter. We just slowly need people to get more intrigued into Bitcoin. And this is why recently with this bullish news, we see Bitcoin rising incredible. And once PayPal starts offering this, the banks start offering this, slowly central banks start getting into it. I mean, $1 trillion market cap is actually extremely low for Bitcoin. I can see the market cap going 5 trillion even. Very, very soon. But this is just a speculation, okay? It could drop as well. This is not financial advice. I just want to reassure you that this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just information. I'm sharing news with you, and I'm very, very excited in the future here. Obviously, I'm invested heavily into Bitcoin, into Ether and stuff like that, and that's why I'm reasonably even more excited. But this is good news. So we also got a third thing, which is security token offerings. Okay, so DBS plans for digital exchange are still work in progress and have not received regulatory approvals. Until such time as approvals are in place, no further announcement will be made. So as well, if you got security token offerings, you have a new project such as the ICO, I believe they will offer that. So I'm mainly looking at the digital exchange. I don't really care who holds their Bitcoin whatsoever. I would prefer people holding their own, having their own custodial services such as the Ledger or the Trezor. But it doesn't really matter, it doesn't bother me. As long as the banks start offering this, as long as PayPal starts offering this, you know, we have the Indian bank as well. I mean, incredible news. And we've seen, let's take you guys actually to the Bitcoin chart, the weekly chart. We're right now at 13,623. And I think there's going to be a huge resistance around the 14,000 mark, $14,000 mark. This is going to be the huge resistance. And after that, we don't have much resistance, guys, anymore. I can see the next resistance maybe being around 14.7. Then we might got another resistance line at 16,247, 17 mark. But then we've got the main resistance mark around the 20 area, around the 19.5 area, 920 area, 1,000. So once that is reached and we can see a new support line around here, I mean, it is going to be very reasonable to see Bitcoin doing something like this actually. So going up here, going down again a little bit, doing whatever it wants to do, going up here and then using that as another support line, maybe chilling here for a few couple months or weeks or days even. And then the limit is the sky. As we saw here, we can only assume how much it will go next time. I mean, if you go back in the days, if you actually go back in the days right now, let's go back on auto and go back in the days here, okay? Sorry guys, let's take you here. Here, let's say it has touched the all-time highs, right? It has touched all-time highs, let's say again, and people thought, This is maximum again. This is the new resistance line. But look at that. It didn't jump much. Only 2 days actually till it reached new all-time highs, which was 50% more than before. Then it dropped, then went up again, dropped, and then we can see, boom, 7,500. Then it went all the way down to 5,300, and then the next resistance, heavy resistance line was around 11,000. At that time, people were like, oh, it's not going to go up anymore. It's not going to go up anymore. Went down, and then bam, straight to 16,000. Went down again. Okay, now this is over, bull run, 100% confirmed. Boom, 20,000. And then we actually saw the bearish momentum going down and down. But now we are seeing slowly the all-time highs wanting to be retested slowly. I can see this. So here we've got 13 November 2020. And I can see this around the December, early January times when PayPal starts actually introducing in 2021 the cryptocurrency purchase that you can do through the PayPal app. We've got 300 million plus users being able to buy Bitcoin. Incredible. And this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Bye bye.